You're about to learn a fantastic, easy card trick. The Spectator actually handles the cards, mixes them, freely selects a card, and yet somehow you are able to reveal it in a spectacular fashion. It's a trick that I constantly perform. So if it serves me well, I think you'll have fun performing this trick. Stay tuned at the end because I'll talk about a little hack that will allow you to streamline this trick and perform it more efficiently. I will also discuss this theme applied to some card tricks that I performed today in my professional work. So let's get to the lesson.
I have a little theory that a like process should come up with a like conclusion. So we're going to try a little experiment here. 2 decks of cards. They are just ordinary cards here, but different backs. So I'd like you to choose one of the decks. Whichever one you choose is the one you're going to use. Okay, you took the green one and I'll take the red one. Go ahead, take them and go ahead and just give it a mix any way you like it. Yeah, if you... Okay, however you want to mix them. It's all up to you. Cut the cards, shuffle them. So we're creating a like process, correct? You happy they're mixed up? Probably as mixed up as my brother-in-law. So anyway, go ahead, look, make sure it's a good distribution. You happy with it? Okay, great. Put your deck on the table. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch. Just to randomize things a little more. All right, now here's what you're going to mirror me. So you're going to pick up half the deck, just the way I am, and put it to this side. Go ahead. And what I want you to do is look at the card you cut to and memorize it. Okay, you got it? All right, now place the card over here. Now complete the cut. Perfect, and let's give it one more cut. However you like. Excellent, and we're going to switch decks again to make it even more random. Now that you have the deck, go ahead and give it another cut. Now we have kind of mirrored each other. We've actually done a series of processes that were almost identical, and we're going to try and see if we have a similar result. So what I'd like you to do is just go through the deck and try and find your card. Don't show it to me yet, but just find your card and hold it just like this. And like methodology, maybe a like conclusion. I don't know. What was the card?
9 of diamonds.
Good. Turn yours over, and you picked the 9 of diamonds. Well, I think I did the exact same thing because I came up with the 9 of diamonds as well. This is a great trick. Completely impromptu, which is why I like it. All you need are 2 decks of cards, and if you follow my instructions, you'll be able to do this trick. What I like to do is have the spectator select one of the decks and tell them that whichever deck they select is the one they'll work with. So I think in this case, we'll have the spectator select the green deck, and I will be working with the red deck. And I like to set up the premise that if you do a similar kind of procedure, that you should have a similar outcome. Anyway, you just have them mix up the cards any way you like. Once you go through the mixing process, you turn over the cards. I like to say, make sure it looks pretty random, and you have them look at their cards. Now what you're doing is you're looking at your cards, saying that you're looking for a randomness in the deck, but all you're doing is remembering the bottom card. And in my case, it happens to be the 3 of hearts. It could be any card because we've actually mixed up the deck. But it is the 3 of hearts. And they're gonna, and obviously they're not thinking anything at this point. They're just looking at their cards. So I'm remembering 3 of hearts, whatever the card is on the bottom. Now at this juncture, you trade decks. Now it's important here because this is the crucial part. I always tell the spectator to mirror what I'm doing. Act like it's a mirror. So when I say I want you to cut the cards, I want to make sure they cut the cards in the same direction I'm cutting. See, I'm cutting this way, and I want them to cut it this way. So far everything's random. Just remember 3 of hearts. Now, and just to refresh your memory, 3 of hearts is over here on the bottom. Now, once they cut these cards here, you look at this card. So the spectator's looking at this card and you're looking at this card. Now spectators think you're memorizing this card here. You're not, because you don't care. All you have to remember is the 3 of hearts right here. Now the spectator is memorizing this card, which happens to be the 3 of spades. Completely random. So both of us are looking at our cards. They're memorizing the card over here. You're just looking at this one and not caring about it. Don't memorize it. Don't get mixed up. Then you tell them to mirror you and put the cards over here and now complete the cut. Now on this end, we don't care what happens. But over here, we still have the 3 of hearts on the bottom. So the 3 of hearts goes over their card. Now you can cut the deck. It doesn't matter if you cut the deck at this point because it doesn't change the order. Now switch, and you can keep cutting the decks if you like. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. Now, after some mixing, you tell the spectator we're going to find our cards because we've done a similar procedure which should have a similar outcome. So what you do is, they're going to just look for their card. But what you're doing is looking through the deck and looking for that 3 of hearts. And once you find the 3 of hearts, which is right there, 3 of hearts, I know the card that is underneath is their card, which is the 3 of spades. Now you take out your card, and of course they're going to take out the 3 of spades. And then at the end you conclude we did a similar procedure, we want a similar outcome, you turn your cards over, and you will both have the same card. And that is a well-known trick. It's called do as I do.
As promised, I'm going to offer some insights into this trick. First of all, the hack. Now you can streamline the trick with a simple little technique. Now as the trick is taught in the video, you swap decks twice with the spectator. First, after you've looked at the bottom card, you swap decks, you select the card, and then you swap back. You can remove the first swap with the following technique. When the spectator is mixing the cards, you can turn the cards over and say, look at your cards, make sure that they are indeed in a random order. And when they look at the cards, if you can glimpse that bottom card, then you already know the bottom card, and then you don't have to memorize the one you have and swap decks. So remember their card, then go into the selection process where you look at a card, select a card, complete the cut, and then swap decks again. There's only one deck swap in this, and then you can proceed with the trick as taught in the video. Now, second of all, I talked about that I use this idea in my professional work. And so it's pretty much do as I do, but I'm not using the technique that I taught you in the video. Now, first of all, I just use a single deck. I'm using the regular deck that I use in my table work, just carrying one deck and having various card tricks that I can do with it. What I do though is I perform the trick in a way that matches. In other words, we split the deck in half and the spectator has one half, I have the other half. And then when the card is selected, then they match in terms of black or red and the values. So in other words, if the spectator selects 8 of spades, I'll have an 8 of clubs. They have a 7 of diamonds, I'll have a 7 of hearts. And that way you're matching the cards with a single deck. Now, given the technique that I taught in the video, it'd be a little convoluted to actually do this because you have to divide the deck in half. You would have to have all the different matches of reds and blacks in each deck, and then you can't have one deck all black, the other one all red. You're going to want to mix those up as well. So you'd have to randomize it for just one trick, but it could be done. And so the techniques I use when I'm doing card work in my professional settings, what I like to do is use a technique by Rafael Benatar, or at least I believe he's taught this, and this is where I first saw it. But it's essentially do as I do. and it relies on sleight of hand, and then only has one deck, and then you're matching value and color. So but that's not the one I actually perform. My favorite is by the great British magician Wayne Dobson. And what he's done is he is able to display, where the Benatar version displays with sleight of hand, and you can get away with it. I mean, any magician can perform the move to display. But what I like about Wayne Dobson's version is at the end, you're doing a clean display and there's nothing to find. And so that one's repeatable. Usually most magicians perform it 2 or 3 times and then move on to another trick, but it's done with an ordinary deck. Again, I can't teach these here, but if you have questions about these techniques, please DM me and I'll be happy to offer some insights into that, but it's just not something I want to put inside of a YouTube lesson. So anyway, I hope you like the trick. Hope you have a lot of fun performing it for your friends and family. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next lesson.